Huh. Waiting to hear about another.
You're waiting to hear what? That we're live? We are alive. All right. As Mr. Madrid said, he's like, Alan, you better watch the talk because we are live. As you all know, folks, we all do these pre-conversation, if there's such a phrase, all right, before we actually start the show. But the show is all about cruising with a case handler, an attorney at the firm, PPID, Pollack, Isaac, and DeSico. And we speak on personal injury and we speak on immigration. Today, it's all about immigration. I've got two very powerful attorneys, Alan E.K. and Nelson Madrid, and they're ready, willing, and able to not only answer your questions, but to give you some serious immigration updates. So I want everybody for the next 60 seconds, let's get pumped. Let's turn up your radios. Let's text your friend, call your family members, call your foes, and let them know that David Squeeze Anarchy, Nelson Madrid, Alan E.K. respectively, Squeeze, of course, the Maverick and the General, we're ready to answer your questions. And there's absolutely no attorney on this station that can stump us. We got this since 1996, the longest running immigration show in the nation. Don't forget to check out that flick on Netflix. All right. So right now, Nelson, how you doing?
I am doing good. Irie.
Yeah,
Irie this morning.
That's what I'm talking about, man. You're ready for the world. Alan, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm all right, man. I got wind of what it is that you were speaking with your comrade, Mr. Nelson Madrid, another attorney, that there is some recent immigration changes, but hold that thought, because I can't believe what I heard. I'm like, what? Did they just say they can pick up people and do whatever they pretty much they want with some people in this nation?
Right, and that's going to happen after October 16th.
Well, I tell you what, why don't we just start all over again, all right? Okay. What is going on with what you spoke about before we got on air? What exactly are you talking about? Ladies and gentlemen, Alan E.K., the General, right here on, of course, Cruising with a Case Handler, and we're talking on immigration. Talk to me, Alan.
Okay, do you want to talk about that? We'll start with that. So this is something new, and under this new policy, new rule, undocumented immigrants any place in the United States can be deported as quickly as a day once ICE people complete mandatory training online, and that mandatory training would be finished October 16th. So this is huge.
Tomorrow?
Yep, this is huge, and it can very significantly shift how immigration law is enforced. So all ICE personnel were told that they would now carry out these new expanded expedited removals in an email they got. And the email basically said they've got to do some training, and the training will be finished October 16th. And it's called expedited removal. Since expedited removal was started, it was then limited to individuals who were encountered within 100 miles of the border and within 2 weeks of entering the US. That's changed. The new policy will apply to immigrants anywhere in the United States who can't immediately prove upon an encounter with an immigration official that they've been continuously in the US for at least 2 years or have legal standing. So ICE deportation officers have 2 weeks until October 16th to complete a new training course. Once they complete the training course, which is probably completed now, is after October 16th, they can begin using this new enforcement tool. And according to the American Immigration Council, which is a pro-immigration agency, ICE has never had this authority, and they really can't be trusted to establish appropriate safeguards. So this is an important immigration enforcement tool for the government, and expedited removal leaves little opportunity for an immigrant to challenge this before being put on a plane to the country of origin. A former immigration official said it's virtually impossible to challenge it once they grab you and they're putting you on a plane. So now they say it's really, really, really easy to be removing individuals who are not legally eligible to be removed by expedited removal. And unless they have really valid claims or defenses, ICE could deport thousands of people under this new rule which is now in effect. So this is hot.
All right, stop for 1 minute. I need to get your colleague, because I am here and I'm listening to this and I'm saying, hold up. I know the general is the man. I know you're one of the most powerful immigration attorney in the entire country. And I'm very proud to actually do this show with you. And I'm quite sure Nelson and everybody is. And everybody listening us on this station know that if I decide to put an attorney on the station, they know squeeze is very serious. You just said, and I want Nelson to even put it in even more layman's term. You just said that there is a new rule that just came out from the Department of Homeland Security, Immigration, where the ICE officers are being trained. And effective October 16th, if they find out that you are an illegal alien and they grab you and you're undocumented, unless you have some serious reason why they should not deport you, they are putting you in deportation literally.
No.
What's the situation?
It's not deportation.
It's worse than that.
So basically, let me simplify this. There is something known as expedited removal. Expedited removal is when you are caught within a certain distance from a border, or you are stopped at the airport for whatever reason, and basically you are unable to demonstrate that you have been physically present in the United States for the 2 previous years. You do not have a right to see an immigration judge.
So it's worse.
Correct.
It is worse.
Correct. Instead, you are simply returned back to your country. Okay. So
Nelson, give me a scenario. Give me a hypothetical example.
Okay. So let me give you a hypothetical. The way it used to be implemented, right, which is what Alan had said previously, was you're crossing the border, right, or you're within 50 miles from a border.
Yeah.
You get encountered or you get stopped by an immigration officer, and you cannot demonstrate that you were physically present in the United States for the 2 previous years, you can literally be sent back home. You don't have a right to see a judge. You don't have a right to present the case. You will be returned home.
That's before.
Okay.
That's
the way it used to be. Another example, you are entering the United States through the airport. You are entering with a fake passport, a fake visa. You are stopped. The officer catches it. You are returned back home. You do not have an opportunity to present your case before a judge. Those are 2 examples of the way it was used in the past. Okay. Now, based on what Alan is saying, you could get just stopped in the street. You could be encountered in the street and basically questioned. And if you are unable to demonstrate that you have been physically present in the United States for the 2 previous years, they can detain you and ultimately send you back without you ever being given a chance to present a case before an immigration judge. Basically, expedited removal, you don't have rights.
That's what I was about to say. You have absolutely no right. So if I'm out of status and I'm walking down Broadway, okay, in front of your office, okay, and I have no status, I don't have a green card, I'm not a citizen, and I'm walking and I get stopped by an ICE itself, officer, right? And I can't prove that I've been in the United States for the past 2 years, okay? And I don't even know how I'm gonna prove that, seeing that I'm out of status and I'm under the radar. I can't prove that, right? Basically, they're gonna grab my ass and they're gonna put me in expedited removal, which means they're gonna kick my black ass out of the country. That's what you're saying, right?
That's correct.
And to give you a quote, this is from a former immigration official: expedited removal leaves little opportunity for an immigrant to challenge it before being put on a plane to go home. It's virtually impossible. And this former immigration official says it's really, really, really easy now to be removing individuals who are not legal eligible to be removed via expedited removal. Quite frankly, if they don't have valid claims or defenses, ICE could deport thousands of people under this rule, says this former immigration official. And it's in effect now, since the ICE officers have had their training they're ready to go on this thing now.
This is very appalling, and I mean, I'm very serious. This is the most serious thing I've heard on this show since we have started this year. It is a message that is being sent from the current administration, hence the reason why we need to go out and vote. Conrad, I know you just joined us, but I know you were listening on the way in to us on the radio. Do you hear what's going on? I'm quite sure you know. I mean, you're on the freaking firm. You're the man. Do you hear what's going on?
I do. And this is why I've been saying, for the longest time, got to vote, got to get rid of this guy. We got to get Biden in, and Biden is going to bring sanity back to the immigration process. And more important than sanity, fairness. Because right now, what this administration is doing, what they've done, probably the one thing that they've been really good at and efficient at doing is just removing fairness and sanity from the immigration system.
Well, tearing down the immigration system.
It is tearing it down.
Yeah, I mean,
it is tearing it down.
Working. They have done. I think I read the other day. There have been 400 plus changes to the immigration system in the last 4 years. 400. I mean, 400 changes.
And that's not including all of the lawsuits presently in federal court. That's not including, there's issues on whether or not people who were appointed were actually legally appointed to their positions.
Oh, so the Chad Wolf, who is the acting, quote unquote, acting director of USCIS, pretty much, this is Trump's way of circumventing the Constitution's requirement of the Senate to advise and consent in terms of appointments, cabinet appointments. And I mean, everybody's acting. He doesn't, that way he can skip any kind of questioning or anybody other than his administration's input on who he appoints and who he puts in place. So this guy, Chad Wolf, and then his cohort, Cuccinelli, these guys are as anti-immigrant as they come. And they're the ones running the show, and as Nelson said, with Wolf, there are lawsuits in place saying, hey, this guy should not be the director of CIS. He's the acting director. Nobody ever appointed him properly. Therefore, this guy can't be changing and tearing down the system because he has no authority to even be in place in the first place. That's what these lawsuits are about. And assuming Biden gets in, those lawsuits are going to go away, right? Because these guys are going to be gone.
It's unbelievable.
Which makes it more important than ever for you to get out with you and your family and your friends and plan to vote. Make a plan to vote.
But there's something else also, Alan, before, there's something else also. I mean, and this is a huge announcement that you have dropped on everybody that's tuning into 93.5 FM to listen to Cruising with the Kaye Sandler show on personal injury and immigration, where today we're focused primarily on immigration. It's a huge announcement. And it's a message to every single person out there, Conrad, Nelson, and Alan, not just to go out and vote if you can, but also if you have not reached out to the law firm PPID to find out how you can go about sorting out your status in the United States, if there's any time that you should do so, it's now. Because if you're walking down the street and you're out of status, you could get thrown out of the country. That's pretty much what I'm hearing.
Without a deportation hearing, without
a hearing, without even seeing a judge, without going to court, without a hearing. So what I'm saying to everybody out there, many of you probably just sitting around waiting for something to drop out of the sky and magic to happen. At least call the firm, have a conversation with them, speak with a Nelson, speak with a Conrad, speak with an Alan, speak with an Andrea, speak with a Yee, speak with one of the attorneys and find out, hey, listen, I'm here in the United States, I'm out of status. Is there anything I can do? I hear the big mouth guy squeeze on the radio every day. I know you are an attorney. Is there anything I can do? Try to get something in the system with the firm PPID, because I believe if you do get stopped after that, well, I have an attorney, I am in the system, I'm being filed for. Now you have a leg up. So what I'm saying to everybody, call this number and get yourself a free phone consultation right now. Schedule that phone consultation with an attorney. All right. The number to call is 844-774-3529. Huge announcement. All right. 844-774-3529. Every single person that's out of status should be dialing that number right now. Get a free phone consultation. By the way, schedule it. Got to make that clear because I know some of you call the firm and you're jumping off the roof. No, just call them up. The attorneys are not sitting there just waiting for you. They're speaking with other clients and seeing other clients. So call and schedule that appointment. The number is 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. Huge announcement. If you're out of status, ICE is on the warpath. If you're out of status, call the firm. Get a free phone consultation. Find out if you can do anything. Other than that, you need to stay under the radar. But please speak with an attorney at PPID, Pollack, Isaac, and DeSico about your immigration matters and situation. 844-774-3529. That's 844-PPID law, 844-774-3529. This is ridiculous what ICE is doing. Yes, Alan, you may continue.
Okay, so it's very important that if you're a U.S. citizen, you've got to get out and vote. Now, you can mail in your ballot if you've done it already, or you can go in person, but on election day, make sure that either you mailed it in previously or you're going in person to vote. Okay, now, next, there is a fee rule that immigration posted where they were going to raise most of their fees significantly, 83% raise on naturalization. But that has been enjoined in federal court. So this fee rule injunction is enjoined, but it may be there, come back because the government may appeal. So if you're going to file an application, don't sit on it. If you want to file for naturalization, don't sit on it. Get ready and file before
Alan,
fees.
Alan,
Yes.
I'm sorry to interject. What's happening with the I-944, the Declaration of Self-Sufficiency?
Okay, the I-944 is in place. If you
What do you mean? What do you mean by it's in place?
In other words, you've got to do it. If you have already filed an application for adjustment of status and you didn't file a 944, they're going to come back with something called a request for evidence and file this 944 form, which is a very complicated form, and it has to do with public charge. Any new applications, you have to put in the 944. Applications that you already filed for adjustment of status and didn't put in a 944, they will come back and ask you for.
And what is a 944?
It's a very complicated form that seeks to show that you will not become a public charge. So if you're filing, you and your husband are filing for adjustment of status because somebody's sponsoring you, and we need a 944 for you, a 944 for your husband, a 944 for the children. It's a very long and complicated form, and they're going to be asking for it. So I'm sure most people who file for adjustment of status didn't put it in. You're going to come back to you and say, we want a 944.
And it's not just very quickly, it's not just the form. You have to provide supporting evidence with that, no?
A lot of supporting evidence.
Such as
credit reports, such as employment letters, such as tax returns, all kinds of things to show that you will not become a public charge, or you and your wife, if the application is for both of you, will not become a public charge.
You know, incidentally, someone just asked on Facebook that, you know, if they could file for someone if they have not filed their taxes.
Yes, you still could file even if you filed your taxes.
Even if you have not filed your taxes?
Yes. Okay. I mean, they may come back and want to see that, but when you're sponsoring somebody else, you're a U.S. citizen, you're a permanent resident, even if you haven't paid your taxes, yes, you can file for them.
Okay. All right, good. Proceed, gentlemen, because I'm hearing a lot today. I'm doing a lot of listening today. You know? Okay. I'm still in shock.
So we talked about the new fee rule that they posted, which was going to raise all their fees, a tremendous amount of money. That's been enjoined in federal court, but don't, rest on that. try to get your applications in because the government may appeal and that injunction may end, and then they're going to go after you for the new filing fees. Next.
No,
EOR.
excuse me, Alan, one point, just my own opinion on that. Look,
Yep.
whether Trump or Biden gets in, fees are going up. Certainly it's going to happen faster and they're going to be higher if Trump gets reelected. But even if Biden gets in, the USCIS, they're just running out of money. They're badly managed. They've probably been deliberately mismanaged, so they lose money. Fewer people are applying. Every case these days, because of the vetting and the rigorous standards that this administration has put in place, applications are being bounced back and forth, RFEs, requests for additional evidence. So it's so much harder to get cases through. And as a result, fewer people are applying. And that's one of the reasons they don't have money, that they're running out of money. You know, it's their own doing, which I believe it's on purpose. But the fact is, fees are going up at some point, regardless of who the president is. It's going to happen before this year is out. So if you're going to file, you should file.
Well, now before the fees go up, because they're probably going to go up sooner or later. Next, if you have a removal proceeding scheduled, all non-detained hearings where somebody is not being held by immigration, that's been postponed to at least October 30th by all the 3 New York immigration courts. So if you have a date already, that's a different story. But if you've been informed that you're going to be in removal proceeding, no date yet, they keep pushing it back and pushing it back. The latest pushback is no hearings until October 30th or later.
Well, I'm sorry to interject. One of the reasons they keep pushing it back is because there's no system in place to keep everyone safe. You know, immigration court is typically crowded. There's anywhere from, 40 to 50 people inside one courtroom at one time. There's really no social distancing. So there's really not a system in place, I believe, at the moment to ensure everyone's safety. So this is, I believe, one of the reasons they continue to just push the opening date back and back and back.
Yep. Now, another announcement. We have a green card lottery. We have it every year. Lots of people find it very strange. This country has a green card lottery. What is this? Well, we've had it for a long, long time. The present green card lottery, you have to file between October 7th and November 10th. Unfortunately, Jamaica.
Well, who qualifies? Before you proceed with that, Mr. General, who qualifies for a green card lottery? Who qualifies?
Unfortunately, and I'll get to that in a minute, Jamaica does not qualify. Most countries in the world do qualify. Countries that have had a high volume of people immigrating to the United States don't qualify. There are certain educational requirements, but basically Jamaica does not qualify. But let's say we have somebody from Jamaica who's married to somebody from another country that does qualify. He can take her place of birth. And so this guy who was born in Jamaica, who's married to somebody from France or England or any place else that's not on the no-no list, he can take her place of birth and file. So remember that the green card lottery, October 7th to November 10th. If you have some questions about the green card lottery, give us a call. We'll be happy to talk.
Right.
To you.
How do you qualify? But I think David's question was, how do you qualify?
You've got to file an application with USCIS.
Does it depend on what country you're from? Does it?
Well, it depends on what country you're from. Most countries in the world do qualify for the visa lottery. There's a handful of countries that don't qualify. Jamaica doesn't qualify. India doesn't qualify. All countries that have had a high volume of immigration over the last few years don't qualify. So people who are listening to this program who are from Jamaica don't qualify, but if your wife or your husband is born someplace else, you can take his or her place of birth, assuming the country he or she was born in does qualify. Most countries in the world do qualify. So we'll be happy to talk to you about the visa lottery. Just give us a call. Nelson or Squeeze will give you the number. And just remember, the visa lottery is on October 7th and November 10th for you to file. you file online, and they want a photograph and they want some information, but we can help you with that.
Gotcha. Once again, folks, the number is 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. I'm getting so much information today, but it's unbelievable. Once again, this show is called Cruising with a Case Handler, a show on personal injury and immigration. We're focused on immigration today, and we're getting a wealth of information from the attorneys that's actually here on the radio with me and also on Facebook. Do remember to follow the firm's page, PPID, that's Pollack, Isaac, and Nisico. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a full service law firm. So yes, we're speaking big on immigration. And based on what I'm hearing, every single person out there who is seeking immigration benefits, who is out of status, we are extending to you a 100% free scheduled phone consultation with an attorney. Call us now. The number is 844-774-3529. That's 844-PPID-LAW, 844-774-3529. A wealth of information coming from, of course, the vocal cords of Alan E. Kaye and the attorneys, giving us the update. Man, this, and just reiterate again, Alan, before we get to the top of the hour on 93.5 FM, what's going down with ICE?
Okay.
At least I'm down with PPID.
Let's talk about, for a few minutes, about American consulates. Some of you may have appointments at American consulates. Some of you are waiting for appointments at the consulates. Many of the U.S. consulates and embassies around the world are not able to operate at full capacity due to the COVID-19 pandemic and in-country conditions. So as the conditions improve in the country, they're starting to provide services. But if there's an emergency, if there's something really important, they will take you out of line. So due to the reduced service, kind of phasing in and getting back up to action. But if you have a case pending in American consulate, they haven't called you yet, and it's important, you have a deadline, there are possibilities to move you ahead of the line and get called in. So they're just starting a phased reopening at the American consulates now. They had been, kind of pretty close.
All right, so let me do this. So let me do this because we're getting to the top of the hour, not to cut you off. My apologies.
Okay.
All right. We have a minute before we get to the top of the hour. I just wanted to say, everyone that's on 93.5 FM listening right now, tune into my page, David Sweezaniki, or the firm's page, PPID, Pollack, Isaac, and Nisico, or the case handler page, and continue listening. We're going to be actually answering your questions right this second. All right. So give us a call at 844-774-3529. We're going to be answering questions like, I'm a Jamaican and my fiance is a United States citizen, but not by birth. We have known each other for 7 years and we have shared a relationship for 2 years now. He visits me here in Jamaica a couple of times and sends money every month for my son and me. Can he apply for a fiance visa for me? How long will it take? So those are questions. That is a question that we're going to be answering right now. So if you've got questions like that, call us now at 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. Book and get yourself a free scheduled phone consultation. 844-774-3529. Let's do this, ladies and gentlemen, right here today on Cruising with a Case Handler. All right, so let's get to that question. Who want to jump in and answer that question? Sorry to cut you off, Alan, but we were getting to the top of the hour on the station. All right.
If you're a U.S. citizen and you're engaged and you are either never been married or you're divorced and you want to bring your fiance here on a fiance visa, it's called an E1. Yes, you can file an application with USCIS for a fiance visa K1. And when the fiance visa petition is approved by USCIS, your fiance will be called in for an interview with the American consulate. Now, a lot of American consulates are very suspicious about K1 visas, and they think this is just a game to try to get you over here, but you really don't plan on getting married. The fact that there are some children involved, that's great because it shows this is real. So fiance visa is possible. And what happens is when their fiance comes here, they're admitted for 90 days. They give you 90 days to decide whether you're going to get married. If you do get married within the 90 days, your fiance can file for adjustment of status here and will not have to go home. We can just come here on the fiance visa and get married within 90 days and file to change to permanent resident without having to go home. That's the answer to the fiance question.
Got you. And someone says here on Facebook that after 20 years of being deported, okay, can they reapply?
Yes, Nelson, you want to do that one or I'll do it?
You know, one of the things, it's a good question, but it's also a very vague and ambiguous question, right? One of the things I would need to know is why was that person ordered deported? It's not just that you were ordered deported, you know, you don't just get ordered deported. There's typically a reason why you get placed into removal proceedings. That's something I would need to look into. Something that I typically like to do is anytime anyone has any type of immigration history, I like to first get a copy of the file. Sometimes people's recollection of events is not necessarily accurate. Files and documents do not lie. And you don't want your attorney surprised and blindsided by information that you may not have remembered or you did not know. So that would be the first step. Once I review the immigration file, I would then be able to let you know whether or not you're able to proceed with that case.
Gotcha. All right. Once again, folks, cruising with the case handler show right now. And of course, we are taking your calls and the attorneys are knocking the questions out of the park. All right, let's get to another question here. Can you apply for an employment-based immigrant visa while your family-based visa F3 is still pending at the NVC?
Yes. You can have two different cases going at the same time. You can have a family-based case going at the embassy, and you can have an employment-based case going here. So you can have two things going at the same time.
Okay. All right. Here's another one. My sister's visa category is F1, adult daughter of U.S. citizen. All her documents were approved by NVC in July, but her visa category falls under the proclamation by the president. She's a nurse and got her ATT to take the RN exam. Is this an exception to speed up her case?
No, she's applying. It's a family. She's applying under a family preference category. The fact she's a nurse, she's not coming here to work as a nurse. She's coming here as the unmarried son or daughter of a U.S. citizen. So I'm not sure how that would speed up her case.
Wouldn't.
Gotcha. All right.
It wouldn't speed up her case. You just got to hope that, again, that Trump loses. Right now, that travel ban is in effect until the end of this year. Trump gets reelected, I can guarantee you that travel ban is going to be extended for as long as possible. Biden gets in, it'll probably go away. So get out and vote for Biden.
There you go. Vote for Biden. All right. Final question here, unless some more comes in after this. Hello, everyone. We came here from the Philippines in February this year with the K1, K2 visa. We're now applying for a green card with my 13-year-old daughter. However, the original documents that we have was held at LA Immigration. Is there any way to get that document, or do we need to get a new one instead? Also, do I need to apply for a green card for my daughter at the same time, or can we apply later when she's 18 years old? Thank you, PPID.
The answer is if you're here on a fiance visa and your daughter's also here on the derivative fiance visa, you can and should right away file for adjustment of status. You don't need the papers that are being held at LA. You're here on a fiance visa. You're supposed to get married within 90 days. Once you get married, you can file for adjustment of status for you and your child.
It's how old is the child?
13, I think she said.
Well, not 18 yet.
I think she said 13.
Yeah.
Would it be, Alan, would it be one or two separate applications?
I think it's two separate applications.
Well, if they're applying for adjustment of status, it's going to be two separate 485s, that's for sure.
Right. With the 944 forms that we talked about before,
Earlier.
pain in the neck.
right. And pretty much what I'm hearing from the attorneys, Miss Filipino, is that you need to call the firm. 844-774-3529.
You know,
That's
and squeeze.
844. Mhm.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, 844-774-3529. You are out there and you want to find out more about this, do give the firm a call. And I do know that they have helped a lot of people from the Philippines. So
Well,
give them a ring, 844 PPID LAW. Yeah.
if I could just add to that, you know, immigration law again is federal law. So the regulations are the same in all 50 states. In fact, I have a case for which we were recently retained on in North Carolina. So I will be traveling to North Carolina to represent someone. So even though we are in New York, we can and do represent people outside of the state of New York.
Good.
Okay,
Because
so you know
it's
the person in California, we can obviously help prepare all of the paperwork, file that paperwork on her behalf, and you know, I mean, if she wants an attorney to go to the interview with her, obviously that would be additional. There are travel-related costs, but if she wants to go by herself, she can. You know, after we file and prepare all of the paperwork on her behalf.
Or we can get a lawyer out there who works with us to go to the interview.
There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, PPID. Once again, I want everyone to understand they are a full service law firm. We just answered a bunch of immigration questions. We also spoke on a few key points that Alan E.K., we call him the general, the attorney, spoke on. I want everyone, I know you're listening to this, you're watching this, just give the firm a call, schedule yourself a consultation with them, with an attorney, all right? And they will speak with you and answer your questions. Not 4 hours, just for a few minutes. And then at least you can actually retain them. Yeah, I know, Conrad. People call up and want to be on the phone for an hour. But Squeeze said that you would answer for days. No, I didn't. All right. So let me just disclaim and be very clear. Speak with them, get a few minutes in, and then hire them. Okay. Don't do your case yourself. You're going to screw it up. I promise you that. That's all that's been happening lately. So call them on 844-774-3529. That's 844 PPID LAW. That's 844-774-3529. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Thank you, Mr. General, for giving us that bad news. All right. And thank you, Nelson Madrid, Mr. Maverick, and thank you, Mr. Maestro. You were late, but at least you showed up. Getting to be a true Jamaican. All right. Thank you all so much, everybody, being stereotypical there. All right. And the number is 844-774-3529. And don't forget, if you get hurt in an accident, you've got to call the same firm and ask for the case handler, Adam Handler. 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome. And yes, it has been an attorney advertisement. However, we all know PPID is the answer. Why? Because I'm down with PPID. Have an amazing day.